Are you looking for a way to take advantage of all that space above your head in your garage? Want to make sure it's super sturdy and can hold the weight of all the junk you want to store? Well, stay tuned in this video. I'm going to show you how I did it and show you how to build these shelves right here. I'm going to start out with laying out some blue painter's tape so I can visually see where I would put the shelves, how high they would be, and I'm going to start searching for some studs. You can see the light blinking here, and I'm just making sure that they're spaced fairly evenly and that I can find them and there's enough support there for the shelves. And now I'm going to look to see where the studs are in the ceiling, and there I am, excited that I actually found a spot, and I'm laying out a couple of these, really just trying to again figure out where this is going. So right here, I'm actually starting to find the far spot of the shelves. They're going to go all the way from the wall you see in front of the motorcycle on the right to that spot right there. I'm just double checking my measurement on the ground where I was hoping to end and start. So I'm starting on this side with a 2x4 by 10 foot section just to get me a little closer. I can only use that way. I can only have to put up two 2x4s instead of another small chunk. Since I have that chalk line, I know right where I can catch this beam, right over the motorcycle, no fear. And I'm really gonna cinch this down, give it plenty of support. Right here I'm just measuring the remainder to see what size length of board I'm going to need, and I decided to go with a 2x4 by 8. So I've got that lined up with the chalk line. I'll just tack this in with a couple of screws, make sure we're nice and lined up, and then sink it down again with some overkill screws, but can't really have enough support. So here I'm going to start measuring the vertical supports that are going to hang down and hold the loft up. I've already measured and cut them, making sure they're nice and level. I'll tack in one just so I can make sure it's just level on, and then I'll support it. Just making sure I can pull that to level and plumb. I had to measure all of these downs, each spot on the ceiling, and then measure out to make sure that I was going to have the right cuts. The ceiling was a little wavy and the wall was wavy. I ran every 4.5 feet. I didn't have a specific reason why I went 4.5 feet other than that seemed to span the distance well. The total length was 18 feet. So 4.5 feet gave me even distance of support plus the wall support. So again, I'm gonna put the level up on this wood. It tends to push at the bottom, pushes in towards the wall. I'm gonna push it out to level and then figure out how far off the wall this stick is, because this wall is super wavy. And as I found out when I was snapping the chalk line, the stud that I'm tacked up to with the 2x4s is not exactly parallel to this wall. It actually floats out by several inches the closer I get to the right. So I lined this stud up with the second down support. I split the difference between here and the edge here with this stud. And this stud is a support for the lower shelves, and that'll make some sense later. So I'm just going to pre-drill these edges of the 2x4s so they don't split. And I'm just kind of holding it with my hand to make sure that it's in the right fit. Then I'm going to screw them in. We're going to repeat this all along the box for all of the cross beams, keeping everything flush, and build up this first box. So this set of box supports is going to butt right up to this set of box supports. So So this cross beam is the same length as this one. I took this measurement off the vertical beam coming down from the ceiling support beam, and same with this one from the wall to the ceiling support beam. Then I just took half the distance in between these for a support and half the distance between the length difference here and here for this guy, and same over here. So instead of boxing these out at certain intervals, I just split the difference between here and here. I know it's overkill, but that was an easy way for me to figure out the measurements. I'm sure you can see that some of these boards are warped. I got some of these from the scrap bin, but these are going to get straightened right out when we screw it right into the wall studs. So I wasn't too worried about getting a couple of warped ones. If we were doing straight up and down framing or wall framing, this would be a lot more important, but this get tacked down so tight, it's not an issue. So I'm just going to level this out and screw it into the studs that I have marked. Just after this is when I moved the motorcycle. I know I'm probably crazy for leaving it there that long, but I finally decided it was time to move it. My question for you is, when do you think I should have moved the motorcycle? Leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know when you think I should have moved it and how crazy you think I am for waiting this long. See those clamps fall down there? I'm basically just going to put this up and level it, and same thing. Studs are already marked. This side was a little bit trickier. I built my tolerances super tight, so I kind of had to bang it in there. And right about here was also when I was realizing that I could have really made trouble for myself by not starting with this box on the right before doing the 8-foot box on the left. But I must have measured well. The tolerances came out well, and it fit just nicely. We'll pick up the rest of this action in part 2 of the garage shelf build. As always, let's remember to practice compassion, practice kindness, and practice humility. And thank you for spending time with me to help me practice the art of doing. Click the subscribe up there. Some good videos to watch over here. Thanks, everybody.